Good evening, guys, and welcome back to another speed building video. This one is called Modern Jungle, and I know it's kind of a weird name. It doesn't look like a jungle, but honestly, I didn't really know what to call it. So I was kind of like, oh, you know what? There's a lot of plants and stuff. Maybe I'll name it Modern Jungle because it's modern, and I wanted to name it something to do with like cubes or squares, but I was like, oh, they all sound really dumb, so let's not do that. So I ended up going with Modern Jungle, and it kind of fit because after I decided to do the name, I kind of went back and added some more landscaping and stuff, which you'll see later on. So it's a very simple build, honestly, but it's like I like it. I think it's a pretty sweet build, and it's just cool how it kind of like hovers above the ground, and it's just one bedroom, but the bedroom's pretty big, and there's also three bathrooms. So if you really wanted to, honestly, you could give this more than one bedroom. And there is a study, so you could also convert the study into a bedroom. So it's definitely very easily converted. But for the use of this build, I just wanted one bedroom and a study, and it does have 2.5 bathrooms. So that's a little much, but at the same time, there's like two separate buildings. So there's half a bath in the bottom of the bigger side, and then there's a full like ensuite bathroom upstairs, and then in the house or the build where you go up into it, that one is about it's just one full bathroom in there with a shower, whereas the ensuite I think has a tub and a shower. So yeah, either way, it kind of gets your necessities down. So if you do add some more rooms for Sims, you have all your bathrooms. So I usually just don't like Sims tripping over each other though either. So yeah, so it's pretty modern. I went with very neutral colors because I wanted to do a lot of landscaping and kind of have the landscaping speak for itself in a way. So the landscaping is very, detailed. It's a lot of green, a lot of colors. So then I felt like having a colorful building would be kind of weird on top of all of that. It kind of wouldn't really go. So I really have been trying to work on my landscaping really hard. So I hope it's showing because I've really been trying. I know I still need some work, but I'm trying to get better. And I don't know why, but those shelves just would not go even. I don't know why. So I'm sorry if that bothers you, but I did some of those cool shelving over the windows, and at this point, this is when I decided to add a second part to the roof here, and I do end up, as you saw in the beginning photo, I end up changing that, and the photo ends up, or not the photo, the building ends up being changed a little bit, and I end up extending some of the roof bits like I'm doing right now. Good. And I don't know, I just like how this turned out. It's very simple, but it's kind of neat looking where it's off the ground, and then you have all the plant life and stuff around it, and it has all the huge windows, which is my favorite in a modern house. If you guys have been watching my channel long at all, you know I'm all about the modern homes. Like, I love them. So most of the homes I make are modern, and that's just what I like doing. If you ever want to do a modern collab, like, count me in. But I'm not so great at traditional, still working on it. I've done a few traditional builds and I'm trying to get better, but with time I'm sure it will get better. But still, modern houses are just my jam. It's just what I like building. So this one's also vaguely based off of a Minecraft build that I did before, and vaguely, we'll say vaguely. I don't have pictures of it anymore, unfortunately, but it is vaguely based off of one, not the landscaping, obviously, because I suck at landscaping in Minecraft, but the whole, like, dark, dark gray, I don't know why I can't think of gray, but dark gray buildings, like, it was kind of, I did them, like, just, a cubic buildings, and they were dark gray, and that's kind of what I went for here, except I went with a slanted roof instead of flat roofs. And it is kind of weird in the first building as you go up in it. It's like technically it's saying it's not a room because you're not out, or because it's still thinking you're outside because there's no door to get in, but you know what? Screw it. It looks fine. I liked it. So I ran these two pillars too. This is where the crazy landscaping starts. This is where it gets really intense. Before it was just kind of like trying to figure out what I wanted to do for the pathway and trying to do some fountain area, and then I was just kind of like, you know what, let's take a pause on that. Let's put some landscaping in, and a lot of this is landscaping, I think. Like a lot of the length of this video is. So I've definitely taken some landscaping tips from some of the simmers I watch, and I've been trying to kind of make everything seem more lush in like builds like this specifically, and not so sparse and everything. So I find putting that underside of that, I forget what it's called, but it's the yellow flower bits you see me put basically everywhere. And it just makes everything seem so much fuller and so much nicer. And I don't know what was up with the pause there, but going back, and I decided to do, I've done this on some of my other builds, kind of like a striped driveway. I don't know, I liked it. I liked it more than just the plain, like, dark gray driveway, and I end up changing this. I move it back a little bit, but I like that fence. I realized I hadn't used it yet, and I'm glad I decided to use it because it's kind of neat. It reminds me a bit of like I want to say like Chinese or Japanese architecture, but honestly I'm not so familiar with it, so I'm not entirely sure. So some sort of Oriental architecture. If you know exactly which one I mean, then please let me know so I can specify. But I ended up lining it here with fountains and with these pretty yellow flowers, and I end up doing that on the other side eventually here too. And it did not like me putting the fence under there. It really didn't. But as I said, you know, going for very, very lush landscaping, like that's what I was going for. So I think it kind of worked out in the end. And I do end up putting this little fountain area too on the corner. And oh yeah, I didn't put those windows in yet. Yeah, I was kind of building this really slowly, like, I don't know where I want to put the windows yet. I don't know what I want the layout to be like. And you guys know, if you've watched my videos before, that's just kind of how I build. I kind of build very slowly, and I build in sections, and I'll skip around a lot. Sometimes I feel like doing landscaping first, sometimes I do landscaping last. That's just kind of my style of building, I guess. Honestly, like I've just kind of realized that about myself over you know how time has gone. And yeah, so I did this weird fountain thing here. I think it's almost a little too much, but I'm not sure. I kind of like it, like it goes with the build, I think, but it's a little more of that like Asian architecture again. I was just trying to kind of like mix things up, I guess. And I liked how this just looks like it could be like a nice little sitting area or something. I didn't put any furniture out on it because it's more of a viewing thing for me. But if you wanted to throw some chairs out there, it would be a great place to go sit. And I feel like it would be a cute spot to take photos with your Sims as well. So I always like having spots like that for just, you know, moments to capture. So you can whip out your screenshotting skills and take some nice screenshots. So again, very lush landscaping, very lush, and lots of bushes, and I'm gonna add some trees in later. I end up doing that after though, because at first I was kind of like, I don't know if I want there to be a bunch of trees, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with the other part of the landscaping, so I ended up going and putting in a pool for a while, and then eventually I took a break, and then I came back to the video, I think after the pool. So about like a couple days later I came back, and then that's when I decided to add in all the other stuff. So you'll notice that skip in a few minutes, I believe. But of course, every modern home for some reason needs to have a pool. I don't know why. It's basically just the rules of Minecraft. Or not Minecraft, the rules. Well, it is the rules of Minecraft too. I find everyone has a pool now. But pretty much the rules of Sims. Everyone has to have a pool if they have a really nice modern house and they have the lawn space for it. And even if they don't, some people just put their pools indoors now. I watched a really, really lovely video of that today actually by MV Sims. And he actually put an indoor pool downstairs, or like in the basement literally, and it was really cool. So if you haven't heard of him, actually go check out his videos. I think that was his newest upload, so I really enjoyed watching that. And I think we're almost done with this. I put a little, like a bit of fencing around the pool just for some privacy, and I put the fountain sort of, oh, what's it called, like centerpiece, I guess, in the middle of the pool there, because I don't know, I just thought it made it look more interesting, more modern, not just a regular old Danta pool. And then more windows, I swear, so many windows. But as you can see, you guys know this is my building style. I just, go pretty random. Just whatever I feel like doing is what I do. And oh yeah, we're about to hit the skip here. This is when I was choosing wall colors, and I think I might keep that. And I know I keep the dark wood flooring for most of the place. So yeah, this is the skip in, and this is when I came back a couple days later, and I was like, you know what? We're just gonna tree up this area. And we made some more landscaping pieces, and I put a tree closer to the front of the lot as well. And I just made them very lush, and they're kind of the palm trees aren't really jungly, but I was trying to look through the trees actually and see if any of them did look like jungle trees, and none of them did. They really didn't. So I was just kind of chose random ones, and I chose this one that I liked. I forget if it's from the Outdoor Retreat expansion pack or not. It might be, but I just thought it went really well, and I liked the spacing of it, like where I decided to put it. But I don't really usually like to fill my lot with landscaping, so I just put a few little pieces of landscaping here and there. And it leaves a lot of room if you want to add anything too. Even if you want to add on to the house, it makes it so much easier to add on to the house if you don't have all that landscaping. And it's also really expensive to have all that landscaping, and it really ups the price of your home. So I'm just putting some outdoor furniture here, very white, and I'm not sure how I like that table thing. It's kind of some tables layered on top of each other, but I really wanted it to have an umbrella, and it looked really weird with just the glass table, so I put a second glass table, and it looked a little better, but I still don't know how I feel about that. So you guys can let me know what you think of that in the comments below. Does it look too weird? Should I take it out? Etc. And finally, we're moving on to the interior. So this is the first full bathroom, and it is in our front little house here. I don't know why we would need it unless we had a guest who was like the shower in there. Of course, you can always use a bathroom in any room, but especially because this is like the big living room area, so you need to have a bathroom near there, I find. But I guess if you had people like staying over the night and they were sleeping out on the couch and stuff, it would be nice if they had their own bathroom, and so they could use their own bathroom in the morning, and they wouldn't have to, traipse through your room or anything to get to your only like shower. So also, I fiddled with these cabinets for so long. I am so sorry. They were just not doing what I wanted them to do. So I just kept fiddling with them, and then they finally were placed where I wanted them to be placed. And I think I had so much trouble because this is technically not a room according to the game. And so it kept being really irritating, but eventually I got them to go where I wanted them, and then I put some shelving above them. So I just think it looks kind of cool. It kind of frames the TV, and it's like the accent wall kind of thing. And I went with the theme of this house is black, white, and red. I just wanted it to be very sleek, very clean, very modern. But of course I had to put my clutter because, clutter. But of course that's the color scheme, and I like the color scheme. Black, white, and red I think is my favorite color scheme, honestly. Someday I want to have my wedding be black, white, and red. But it's just my favorite color scheme, I think. It's just very classic, and it's very beautiful in my opinion. So I made this entire place like a slightly industrial, of course, very modern, and I put a lot of clutter in this room. I didn't put as much clutter everywhere else, but in the living room, I just went clutter insane. I'm not sure why, but I liked putting the shelves in between the bookshelves. I just thought it kind of added a little something and more storage space because this isn't a huge house, so of course you do need the extra storage space for your Sims. Well, like in reality, you would. In not reality, this is Sims and they don't need storage space, but in reality, you would need a lot of storage space especially if you're a family, even though this is just a one bedroom house, but you know what I mean. So, um, I think we have all of that done and moving on to the other part of the house. I was originally just going to leave this little open concept, and then that's when I kind of decided, oh, it would be cool if we put a study or room there. And they both have the kind of half walls here and very largely countered kitchen. And I did sort of a circular island piece there for them to sit around. And I thought that was kind of neat. Like, we don't really need more living room space, so I just kind of went crazy with it. And I did the black and white cabinets. I thought that looked cool together, and I'd never done it before, so I almost made the fridge white, and then I was like, nah, that looks weird. So I ended up not doing that, but I used, I think, all the nearly most expensive appliances in this room. So I'm sorry that this place is probably going to be more expensive than it should be, but I like using expensive stuff. I have expensive taste, apparently. In Sims at least. So I also ended up changing some tiling down here, which is going to get really irritating, and that's going to come up soon. But for now, just decorating this side area, and that changes a little bit. I end up putting a sort of feature under the stairs. And continuing with the black and white theme, I went with that, and then I was looking for this tile, and I finally found it. And then I was trying to do the little pieces like that, but for some reason they would not go in the certain triangular pieces I wanted them to go, and it was so frustrating. So I ended up changing it completely from what I wanted to do, and then I was like, oh, this is way too big. So I ended up deleting a bunch and kind of fixing it, I guess. I don't know. It was just being so frustrating. So I ended up just being like, screw it at this point. And yes, I did remember to put the lights under the, not counters, under the cupboards. Under the cupboards. I remembered to put them under the cabinets this time because I keep forgetting to do those in my builds. I know, I'm sorry, I'm awful, but I remember this time, so it's all good. And it really lights up them, which is good because there's a lot of black. But I love that tiled floor because it's just so classic and it's just such a beautiful marble. Like, I would love to have that in a house someday. It's beautiful. And of course, continuing into our kind of partial dining room there with the red theme. And I just made a little area over here, kind of like a book area, I guess. And as I said, doing that little feature area just with some rocks and some flowers. I was thinking of putting more fountains under there, but I was like, it's not really big enough, it's not wide enough, so it might look a little weird. So I didn't end up doing that. And going into the bathroom again, and this is just a half bath. It definitely could have fit a shower if I really wanted it to, but I decided I didn't want to put another shower in because it just seems super pointless since there's only one bedroom. If you wanted to add the second bedroom in here, obviously you could just put a shower in there and then have a full bathroom downstairs as well. There's plenty of space, and you can knock out that one diagonal wall as well, and it would be perfect. So, and in this room, instead of a red accent, I kind of went with blue and a tiny bit of red. I couldn't help myself, but it's just very clean, very simple. Honestly, I didn't want to make it anything too crazy. And moving upstairs, we have our ensuite bathroom, and I guess it's kind of a studio or it's kind of a loft because there's no actual wall and door to it. It's just you go up the stairs and you're in the bedroom, but I I think that's fine. Like, if you're the only one living there, and if you're not, then it's still fine because there's nothing else for anyone else up there anyway. But they have their own ensuite bathroom, and they have their nice little closet there. And of course, red and black. Red and black again. I know it's getting a little old here, but I don't do red and black in every house, so I kind of wanted to stylize this one a little bit. And yeah, I think I put like a little bit of art studio stuff in here too. I know I put artist stuff in all my houses, but really we don't have a lot of clutter, like activity clutter to put otherwise, except for like sporting equipment. And I don't know, sporting equipment just didn't really go with this for me. Sporting equipment to me is kind of something you put in the basement. It's not really something you have in a really nice modern house, like just sitting around. Or at least to me, I don't know. I don't have a really sweet modern house, so I guess I shouldn't talk. But I also did this little cabinetry area here with some shelving, and I think that looks nice. Just extra wardrobe space. You know, us girls or boys, I'm sure there are lots of you who have a lot of clothes too. But speaking as a girl, I know I have a crap ton of clothes, and I don't even know if all my clothes could fit in this room. Let's be honest here. We're bad for that, but it's okay. It's okay. We're loved anyway, so... Anywho, so there is a shower and a soaker tub in this one, and just to better fit everything in, I did extend that wall so we could have the toilet in its little nook here too, so it wasn't too crammed, because I was thinking the room was kind of starting to get like too close together, and I could have just made it a different tub, but I really wanted to use that one. I really like that one, so I also put those they're not paintings, but like article things up, and some red accents, and we should be almost done here. I don't know what the long pauses were, but yeah, I think we're done. Just double checking everything and putting some of the clutter back that came out, because that always happens. So now we are into the screenshots, and I know I've been talking so long, it's like kind of a long video to talk for, but it's okay. So I really hope you guys like this video. It was definitely a fun build. I've just really been meaning to do another build lately, and I also have some collab stuff on the way, hopefully. So I will make some more homes soon, and I really hope you guys are enjoying this video. And there was one more thing I wanted to let you guys know about before I go. Some people were asking me in the comments on other videos just how Anna's been doing. She had this big open wound and she had mastitis here, but she is doing much, much, much better. It's very tiny now. I think it's scabbing over, so that's actually really good news. I know it sounds kind of gross, but it's really good news, and it means she doesn't need surgery, which is awesome, because she almost needed to get a surgery where they basically like cut her open. Oh, it's so sad. She's such a tiny cat. So it's just not doable financially either. So I'm really glad that the antibiotics worked and she's doing much, much better. So she will make a full recovery and hopefully get her cone of shame off soon. And if you follow me on Twitter, you've definitely seen her cone of shame, and it is super cute. So we are taking her to the vet not tomorrow, on Friday, so we will get the final verdict then. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you all for watching, and have a great week, guys.